Hey, it's a preacher, and we're going to do another Preacher Cooks video, or Preacher's Kitchen. But I'm tired of being in the kitchen. I've cut up 2 deer in the kitchen. I've ground 15 pounds of sausage in the kitchen. I've been working on corned deer meat in the kitchen. I cleaned a mess of fish in the kitchen. I baked crappie in the kitchen. I've got a video on that too. So I want to cook, but I want to cook outside the kitchen, so you can probably see the smoke behind me. We're out on the smoker today. I went trout fishing. Me and the basketball ref, we wore them out. I mean, we just wore them out. I think one arm is longer than the other. I caught so many fish. Anyways, I've got those trout on the smoker. And rather than show you just a bunch of chopping up stuff and sprinkling seasoning, let me just show you what they look like on the grill, what I got in them. Then I'll show you what they look like when they come off and how I do it. So let's take a look. Let's have a look in here, see what we got. Woo-wee. All right, it's windy, but I think you can see here. I'll point at this one. This is some rosemary right out of the garden, some lemon. That's a red bell pepper. I think this is thyme right out of the garden. And then I covered them with salt and pepper. There you have it. I think I even put some Cavender's Greek seasoning on the outside. We're going to let these babies smoke for about an hour or so. We'll come back, check on them. It's been about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. Thermostat still running about 250. The temperature. They're getting a nice bronze color on them now from that smoke. What I did about an hour in, maybe 45 minutes in, I swapped places and spun them around. So what was at the very far end is now closest to it, and they're getting smoke from a different angle. Okay, here's what needs to happen. We want to wrap these up in foil now. They've got enough smoke to them. We got all the smoke taste we want. Now we just want them to finish baking. And we'll do that wrapping them in foil. And I need to peel them off there. They feel a little bit stuck, but I don't know. We'll see. Let me get them off there and we'll see how it goes. Alright, now that I've got them all wrapped, I'm going to throw some coals on that fire, open it up, and I'm going to heat it up in here. I didn't want to heat it up before now because I didn't want to burn the fish, and I didn't want to dry them out. And that fish is still moist. It's not nearly cooked. All we've done to this point is add smoke flavor. Now we're really going to crank up the heat. And when I say crank up, I mean get it up another 100. We want to be up in the 300, 350 range. So let's get that charcoal going and give it about another hour at 300, 350, and I'll unroll one and see what they look like. Ooh. Get it where we can get a little air underneath them. All right, we've added fresh charcoal. I don't know how well you can see that. We've moved our oak log around where maybe it'll catch and burn more. I've opened up the bottom vent. We draw some air and through there. We're gonna eat in the living room. This is where I usually eat anyways. I want to show you what we ended up with. I'm trying to be careful and keep that juice from going everywhere. Probably should have put this in a plate, but that's the good thing about it. You don't have to put it in a plate. So you can just kind of make your own plate here. Just like that. I'm going to tell you what, that smells amazing. I can smell the rosemary. Of course, it's looking at me. The fish is looking at me. If you think the fish shouldn't look at you, just break his head off. What we want to do is get under the edge of that skin and pull it back. And that skin should just pull right off and expose the meat. If you've never eaten trout grilled or cooked in foil, my favorite way to eat trout used to be trout cooked on a grill in foil. And some people fry them, and I've had them fried. I've had them every way I guess you could eat them except canned. And one of these days I plan on canning some trout. I got a buddy tells me it's real good. And he's never steered me wrong before, so I will eventually can some trout. So once you peel back the skin, here, let's get this. Let's just get it all where we can see all the meat we're looking at. You peel back the skin, here's what you end up with. You got some meat there that has what I would consider to be a barbecue smoke ring. That little pink color. Now on the top of this line is what you would call the fish back straps. And they just pull off. I mean, if it's properly cooked, it just pulls right off the bone. That is unbelievable. If you've never had smoked rainbow trout, I don't think you've lived. I don't think you've ever lived. I think you just thought you lived. Now, what I'm doing is pulling the meat off the bones. The bones are still in there. You might be able to see them. I'll zoom in and show you a skeleton maybe when we get done. I always get tickled every time I eat trout because it looks like the skeletons of a fish that you see in a cartoon. Well, if you're my age and you grew up watching cartoons that were real. Little bitty bone. Not a problem. Man, oh man. I just really can't tell you. It's smoked fish, but what gives it a different taste is everything we put inside it. Let me pull off this rib meat. I'm starting to get a breakaway here. So when you pull off the rib meat, there may be a few bones in it that come off with it. You just take your hands and pull them out. Separate those bones. They'll pull right away from the meat. On the rib meat, I mean, you can taste it on all of it because it's rolled up in a foil and steamed, but on the ribs, you can really taste the rosemary, the lemon, the bell pepper. That red bell pepper and that lemon with the rosemary and the thyme. I mean, it's just it's like an amazing combination. When you smoke it and then roll it up and steam it, this meat is moist. There's juice all in the bottom of this foil. I wish I had a 2-pounder. I wish I had a 2 to 2.5 pound rainbow. That's what I would like to have. I just never caught one. Look at those big pieces of meat. This is a small rainbow. I mean, this is borderline keeper. And that was the problem with fishing in the Mountain Fork. Nearly every fish we caught was this size right here. But smoking it is the ticket. You can put whatever seasonings you want in the middle. I would always include lemon, even if it's just lemon pepper. Even if you have to break out a bottle of the old lemon juice and kind of shake a little in there, either way. Lemon and trout go together like a hand in a glove. And the key to it is cooking it long enough till the skin just falls off the meat and the meat falls off the bone. I'm going to turn it over. We're going to do the same thing to that other side. I brought a knife, but this is finger foods. I mean, I brought a fork, but this is finger food right here. There's your skin all rolled off. Oh man. So I just start right up here on the back. I usually work the backbone out first. Feel a few bones in there. This is crazy good. We should just call this Watch Harold Eat Trout video, and I could just skip the whole showing you how to cook it, standing out there by the smoker. This is the best part, man. Let me have a sip of Diet Cherry 7-Up to cleanse my palate. Wow. I'm trying to be gentle because I want to show you the skeleton when you get done. I remember as a kid, the first time I ever ate trout cooked in foil over a grill. They showed me how to eat it like this, pulling the meat off the bone. And when we got done, I thought, man, that looks just like the skeletons in the cartoons. So, man, I just can't tell you. Brownie, hush. The dog knows how good it is. He can smell it. And he's a whiner. Let me get the fork in here. What we did was we smoked this for 2 hours at around 250. Then we rolled it up. I think it was more like an hour and 45 minutes, hour and a half. These were small trout. I would normally do 2 hours. So after we rolled them up in foil, we opened the vents up, put some more charcoal on, and we heated the smoke chamber up to about probably 350. I think at one time I went out there, was at 375. And I just let it go like that for about an hour and a half. I let the fire heat up to 375 and I just let it die down. When I went out there an hour and a half later, it was down to 200 again. But that heat, by ramping that heat up, we heated up this foil. All the juices in here finished cooking the fish. So we maintained the smoky taste. We fully cooked the fish so that it just pulls off the bone, the skin pulls off the meat. And I'm here to tell you, smoked trout. If you've had trout and you were like, I don't like trout, it's like salmon. The first time I ever had smoked salmon, I was like, that's totally different than what Mom got out of the can. Yeah, it's totally different. If you smoke trout this way, and then you roll it up in foil and then cook it, it's totally different. You may have hated trout in the past. You may have had it wrapped in foil, but if it wasn't smoked first, that smoking dries out that meat. It imparts that smoke flavor. It gives it that bronze color, and then when you roll it up, I just can't tell you. I'm trying. I'm a man of many words, but I cannot express how much I love smoked trout. If you've never had trout, try it this way. If you've had trout and you didn't like it, try it smoked. It completely alters the texture and the taste. No matter how you have trout, if you cook it whole like this, you're going to have to deal with bones. There's ways to fillet it boneless. I understand that, but I like it with the skin on. I like it stuffed with bell peppers. And you could do onions, lemons, you know, whatever you want to stick in the cavity of yours. Rosemary and thyme are great seasonings. Salt and pepper, can't go wrong. Grilled trout. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Somebody's barbecuing or something. Picked it clean like a buzzard, and I'm proud of it too.